What's good, my people? We are back again for another one on this Mystelics reaction channel. For those of you who don't know, this is where I tend to give my reactions or views on a number of things taking place in Dominica and the Caribbean and the rest of the world by extension. So with that said, guys, we gotta be reacting to OCTAVIA ALFRED, who is apparently the Minister of Education. Oh, there's a lot to be desired from what I understood in this year audio. This was actually sent to me a number of times saying, look at what the lady's saying. They also have a thing they had in Marigot, I believe, where they're talking about education. And actually, after review that one right there. But we're going to be taking a listen to what this expert has to say on drones. Apparently, she's a dronologist, man. Okay. She's also, so they put dronologist, or she take out the E and put the O instead. But anyways, dronologist, OCTAVIA ALFRED, she's also Minister of Education. So I think her title should be dronologist first, and then minor in Minister of Education. Anyways, this is what she had to say right there.
Today marks 7 days since a drone was being flown in the vicinity of the Prime Minister's residence. I have taken time to inform myself before I speak, lest I would sound like many who spoke from a vacuum and made it quite obvious that they did not spend time to inform themselves.
Now, the question here I must ask is, who exactly informed you? Did you get your own personal take on things to inform your own self on what you think about the very situation that you think you are educated on? Or did you go to reputable sources to actually find the information that you're then giving to, or did you get that information to educate yourself? We're about to find out what exactly, and what exactly does that information have to do pertaining to Dominica. Okay, so let's listen to what she has to say out there.
The Bible in James chapter 4 verse 17 says,
Bible. Oh, scary teacher here. Bible. Go ahead. Everybody, the Bible. Satan know the Bible too, you know. Go ahead. Bible, man. Bible. We Bible study now, man. Bible study.
He who knows to do good and does not do it, unto him it is sin.
Okay.
If something is wrong and we support the action or the wrongdoer, we are bringing a spirit of confusion and a curse of rebellion on our land.
That brings me to the thought of what took place with the whole Cara Shillingford and Roosevelt scary case of bribery and cheating. It brings me to that very thought process right there. I mean, you ask any Dominicans, is bribery and cheating going on? Some people, well, most people will say yes, it's going on. They know it's going on because, I mean, we have ample evidence out there, especially when one of the guys was on stage saying, somebody came to him and said, if you vote for Skerrit, he will give you a house. And he was on stage saying these things. We actually have the video of these things right there, guys. I mean, that is part of treating, isn't it? If you vote for me, I will give you a house. No school. So we know these kind of things are taking place, and there's countless evidence out there. And you're talking about supporting wrongdoing, even though the election lists on things not to do, one of them includes bribery and the other one includes treating. And there's a long list of what they consider to be bribery and treating, exchanging favors for votes. That is one of them. Not true. Isn't that wrongdoing? I could be wrong. Let me know, sister, for which you are also involved in. They said you were giving things to your... Yeah. That is not the case right there. We're going back to dronologist ALFRED right there.
Dictionary of Science and Technology defines a drone as a flying robot that is controlled by remote, or it can fly by itself through software which were built in its system, working in conjunction with onboard sensor and GPS.
You know what you say, lady? You know what you say?
It's an unmanned air vehicle. Drones.
There's so much things I can say. So if I'm flying a paper plane, that is a drone too. Because it's unmanned, not true. But she mentioned about robotics and all that kind of something there. There are a number of... let me leave that. That is not the point.
Were initially used as a battle or combat tool. As far back as 1849, when Venice was fighting for its independence from Austria, Austrian soldiers attacked Venice with hot air, hydrogen, or helium-filled balloons equipped with bombs.
And what you consider to be drones back then is not the same drones they have today. This is the problem that I'm having with a lot of people. But let her continue, man. Continue, sister. You're educated. Go ahead. Have fun.
Drones have continued to be a mainstay in military, playing critical roles in intelligence, surveillance, and force protection, Archery spotting, target following and acquisition, battle damage assessment, as well as for weaponry.
Sister, what have to do with Dominica? What all that have to do with Dominica? People don't know what drone is. People know it's a flying device that you control in ground. People don't know what drone is. You have to go and do research for you to understand. Then again, she probably just found out about drones about a week ago or a week and a half ago, guys. So that's why she talking like this. She go on Wikipedia or she go somewhere and she search and look, what is drone? Drone is a robotic thing you have to control from the ground. That is where she coming, not from experience. She coming on. That look like it's experience, you know. That pretty much tells you that she has no clue. She probably never knew about drones like a week and a half ago.
The development and modernization of drones have grown. Drones now deliver packages. They are used in agriculture and other fields. They are used to...
My lady, what that have to do with Dominica? Yes, this is nice. What not? What have to do with the people using drone in Dominica for agriculture? What people using drones for in Dominica? Not for them to sightsee? Not for them to see at a distance for which they cannot fly to? They're not Sukuya. People not Sukuya or Lugahu. They cannot fly in the air and thing. So obviously to get a bird's eye view on different things. I mean, come on. I run a channel called Aerial Dominica. You guys can go there and see it for yourself. You can see the drone footages all over the place, man. All over the place. I wanted to do more areas in Dominica, for which I've never done before. I will get the chance to do that. Don't doubt. I will get the chance to do that. If not me, but one of my people's, I don't think. Well, when they... Anyways, yeah. But this is... Drones are not used for agriculture and this kind of things in Dominica. So what you go in and do research, that have nothing to do, that don't pertain into Dominica, not whatsoever. You can tell it's Wikipedia or Google, she go on and try to see what she can get for her to come and talk as if she know what she's talking about. She know what she's talking about because there's no application to Dominica whatsoever. People using drones for agriculture. Oh, Lord have mercy. Or bombing people.
Minister chemicals, weedicides and pesticides. They are used for logistics and security in many fields. One can now pursue a Bachelor's of Science degree in unmanned system application.
This is the kind of people that we have educating us, guys. Minister of Education at Dewi. You see, it is one thing for you to take something, and that is the problem that I have with education, you know. People like to take whatever people are doing out there and try to bring it inside that is not applicable to people. Next thing, people going through school to waste their time. That's what people are going to do, especially the people who are not academically inclined. That's why I like Mia Motley, you know. Mia Motley makes sure that things are bit different. People respond different ways to different things. Or stimuli, their stimuli responds different ways based off what they're learning. Some people are academically inclined. Some people are trade inclined. Some people can do trade instead of being academic. So they're wasting their time in school when they could be doing something else. Some people are better with their hands and this kind of things. Some people are street smart. They don't go to school understanding. But there's different ways that people kind of adapt to understanding in education. So she's taking things from outside to try to bring in Dominica. That's not applicable to Dominica at all. That is my problem that I have. But she's education minister though. Go ahead.
Fact is, drones are intelligent and powerful.
My lady, drones not intelligent and powerful. It's the flight, the person that driving the drone, the person that is in charge of the drone is what makes the thing thing. There are a lot of people who are driving drone and they crash in their drone and do look like craziness. They do magic themselves. I know a partner that was flying a drone the other day and he just get it and he crashed. That's crazy.
The fact is, some are powerful enough to see through certain metals.
What the X-ray vision? Drone have X-ray vision. My lady, you don't have to go. Why would you put an X-ray vision? Why would you need an X-ray vision in Dominica? Why would you need an X-ray vision? You know the kind of technology it will take to have an X-ray vision on a drone in Dominica? What has to do with Dominica anyways?
Some can fly over a dense forest and see a coin on the forest bed. Some can see thousands of kilometers underwater and underground.
Wait a while, I don't hear that properly. I didn't get to that part apparently. I don't hear that properly. No, sir. No.
The fact is, some are powerful enough to see through certain metals. Some can fly over a dense forest and see a coin on the forest bed.
Yes, sir, boy. Look, eagle eye, boy. Eagle that there.
Some can see thousands of kilometers underwater and underground.
Seen thousands of kilometers. Guys, research how powerful the eyes can be when it comes down to seeing underwater. thousands of kilometers, the lady say we. You know what is thousands of kilometers? Boy, 1,000 kilometers, I believe it's about probably 400. No. About 700 miles. That's what she's talking about. Drones can see 600 miles below the surface of the sea. Sunlight not even reaching down there, you know. But okay.
Much more could be said about drones, but I want
boy, I tell you, boy,
to bring us to the incidents which occurred last week, Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021. Fellow Dominicans, do you not agree with me that any one of you would feel threatened, terrified, unsafe, and concerned if one of these devices was seen flying over your house, your farm, the school where your child attends?
My lady, first of all, I've been doing drone, and a number of persons have been doing drone footage around Dominica. So this is not anything new. However, back in 2010, I believe it was 2010 or 2009, was when I brought the first drone down. I didn't know anybody doing drone in Dominica, but I brought the first one down, the Phantom 1, and I have footage of that online. I did post-morph, but the first time I actually brought it, I flew it in the Glanville Park, and when persons saw it, they started to run. No doubt about it. They started to run because they had no idea what that is. When they met me, they said they thought it was a spaceship that was coming down to them, so they skedaddled, man. They skedaddled, they dig out. But when they came together and watching, they was happy. They happy seeing a blue and green thing flashing in the sky, and you know, people moving and whatnot. So people were scared of in the beginning, but then as people knew about drones and all those kind of things, 10, 11 years later or 12 years later, persons realized that this is an actual handy thing. In fact, it was during Hurricane Maria, I was using the same types of drones to fly over to show the devastation in Dominica. Not sure. The devastation in Dominica was brought about, especially when the American news was bringing false information. I don't know where they was getting the information from. Because when they talk about Ross University was mashed up and this kind of things, and students had to think, that narrative changed when they saw the drone footage, that Ross wasn't affected as grand as as they wanted people to think. You know, the news does exaggerate sometimes. Then people say, oh, it was crazy, Ross. The people was in trouble, turmoil, and those kind of things there. When I fly over Ross, then people check it, but it had nothing really. I mean, you just see a little thing here and there, and that was it. So obviously, drones help people to actually see what was actually going on from a bird's eye viewpoint. It has absolutely nothing to do with spying on people. You don't spy on people with drones. That's stupid. That's real stupid. But hey, okay.
Any one of us who found ourselves in this position would agree that our privacy was invaded.
Sister, let me stop there. First of all, sister, you do not fly a bright orange drone with powerful legs, wind, propeller spinning, changing the direction of the sound. Boy, the sound caused by the spinning propeller, which you will hear passing over you. You do not, boy, I tell you, boy, I don't understand them. Matter of fact, let me show you guys something. You see this thing right there? If you want to really do some spying and thing on people, let me help you out. Maybe you guys, I see they have legislature there. If you want to put legislature, it's on them things you have to put legislator. Okay, sister? This thing is what I used to use back in the day. It doesn't work now. I mean, them things doesn't really work now because I had them for a long time. But these things is what you need to use if you want to spy on people. I'm helping you out. So legislation need to be put on them things there. This is 40 times the normal zoom, which means you can zoom in 40 times on people. You can stay in your house. Some of the neighbors around Kerry can stay in their house, get one of these things, and zoom in into their window and see everything that's going on. No, you might not want this. This is 40 times. What is that? Nonsense. What about this one? This is 60 times 70. 70 times the normal zoom. This thing. This is one of my old cameras. This is what I used to use. This is what I actually used during Hurricane Maria to show people what was going on. And this is the camera right there. Okay? This is 70 times normal zoom. Remember, I don't know if you guys used to follow me on when I used to do my travel vlogs. Some of you guys came late. But I used to do a number of travel vlogs when I used to leave Dominica and all kind of places and go out places. I remember traveling on the ferry and I decided to test this out. How far can this actually go? This one. How far can it actually go? I used to stay on the ferry outside in the ocean, Caribbean Sea, wherever. And I used to zoom in on people's house with this thing. This one we're talking about, eh? That is a old one. Okay, guys? You can hear chicken and stuff. It's a whole thing that there. This one we're talking about. Staying on ferry. Mark you, ferry. And zoom in on people's house. If you want privacy, you don't have no privacy because you're in a residential area. And people have them thing there. That doesn't think properly. What about this Jumbi? This Sukuya is smaller than this one. See the size? It is much, much smaller than this one right there. Helping all you. Legislation only want to put. Go ahead. Legislation. This is 90 times the normal zoom. Remember in same travel vlogs when I was on plane? This one was C. This one is in plane, guys. I used to stay in plane and zoom in on people's house. If I didn't have no covering on the thing, it would be as clear as day. It's like I'll be standing in front of the person's window like that. I used to stay on plane and zoom in. That you have to legislation in cameras. That is nothing compare. Not only that though, guys, before I continue, I take that camera in Picard, guys. I take that camera in Picard. Stand up at your house. They say that I'm fire in Lago. I didn't want to go outside. That was during the time they had curfew and thing in the place. Fire in Lago. Not true? Lago Portsmouth. I stay in Picard and I zoom in Lago with that fire. And you swear I was right there in front of these people. You will swear. Not only that though, guys, but I saw the craters of the moon with this thing right there. Some of you guys, I don't know if I uploaded that one, but I saw the craters of the moon with that camera. And this is nothing compare. I should have brought that other camera. I have a camera that has a DSLR that has a long lens. That is them cameras you stand on the ground, and if you want to shoot a bird in the mountain, you get close up to the bird without the bird actually knowing. That is them cameras that we're talking about. So if you're trying to put legislation, sister, I'm helping you out. Put legislation on camera and tell people not to stay at the house and zoom in on people if they want to. Residential area you're talking about, okay, sister? This thing is nothing in comparison to the camera that I have in the US. Nothing whatsoever. That is them cameras you staying in Africa and you staying on the jeep. And you zoom in because you don't want lion and tiger to bite you. And you want to zoom in on lion and you saw the lion right there in front of you. That is them cameras I'm talking about. Them lens I'm talking about. So if you want to put legislation talking about privacy and nonsense you're talking. People don't need a bright orange drone or bright white drone or black drone or whatever in bright daylight to want to invade people's privacy. Sister, first of all, you don't even have to come close to people's house to think nobody. You don't have to do that. You have to educate yourself on what is actually the fact of reality. So you put in legislation, this kind of things there because you say people invade. It makes no sense. But go ahead. Have fun. Have fun, sister. Have fun. I see the crater of the moon on that little thing. The crater. Bright moonlight, brothers and sisters. Zoom in on the moon. You see all the craters on the moon. I was even looking to see if there are people walking on the moon with that thing. Oh, you mad? Oh, yeah, tell you. That's why some people say, and the reason why I did this, some people say the moon not far. Well, with this thing, it's very, very close to me. Much less with the other thing. Then again, you have to put legislation on binoculars too. Binoculars have to get legislation. Telescope have to get legislation. I brought the binoculars for one of my family members, and he using that like crazy, man, because he likes the forest and all those kind of things. They're seeing parrots and all kind of something there when he travels, whatnot, boom, bam, bing. I bought that for the boy, and the boy zooming in on things, brethren. And you think it's drone that is the problem when you talk about privacy? Who next, sister? I tell you, boy, with the camera having thing, I could stay right in my hole as long as I have line of sight. I could stay right in my hole and just zoom in on a house or any house in Mont Daniel. You talk about drone? Drone is something? Boy, that's vexing.
Our peace was threatened. Our safety was compromised. And people electronically or otherwise trespassed our property.
Of course. Nobody come nowhere, you know. Nobody come nowhere. But people trespass on people's property. Go ahead. You see? Go ahead.
This is the residence of the Prime Minister. It is really not about Roosevelt's garret.
Well, first of all, that is not his residence. the Prime Minister is renting an apartment or a house, a mini mansion. Because that is, when I went there, that was a small thing that day. It's not a big thing that people want people to believe it is. It's a mansion according to Dominica standards. But I have been and stayed in buildings like 6, 7, 8, 10 times bigger than that little baby thing that they want to pretend as if it's so important and this kind of things there. The only problem I have with it is that the Dominican people have to then pay for him to stay inside there. A rental property. Not his official residence, not in Vegas, no? Not Vegas? I could be wrong. Tell me now, guys. Tell me.
How much more should we be concerned as a nation? Today it is the Prime Minister. Question is, who next?
Who next?
And to what? It is really not about Roosevelt's carriage.
Who is about?
How much more should we be concerned as a nation?
As a nation.
Today it is the Prime Minister.
Who's next?
Question is, who next?
Oh, yes.
And to what extent?
Of course.
I want Dominicans to keep this conversation alive.
I helping you. I want it to keep alive too. Let's make sense out of nonsense. Not true. Go ahead. Have fun.
Because it is not irrelevant.
Okay.
As technology advances, we will see more. Keep the conversation alive.
Okay, yes.
Until something is done. We may need to include statements in our different policies and guidelines papers to monitor the use of drones.
Okay.
Keep the conversation alive.
Sister, first of all, the only reason why they have legislation on drones is because drones was affecting flights. That is the only reason. Anybody out there, tell me the other reason why they had legislation on drones in places like California and this kind of things there. Because people were flying their drones in the airport. That is why and in busy places, I explained that in the other video. I'd have to explain that again. If all you didn't see the other video, check the other video, man. Go back. Go back.
We may have to create legislation to guide the use of drones.
For what? For what? You think it's drone that is the issue? Drone?
Keep the conversation alive. We may have to legislate what the penalties are for the misuse of drones.
You come in a residential area and talk about misuse of drones? Huh? I mean, think. Use your brain.
So keep the conversation alive. Whether or not we have legislation in place to guide the use of drones.
What you mean whether or not you have legislation? Who you telling that day? Huh? There's no legislation for drones in Dominica. There's no need for legislation for drones in Dominica. What are you talking about? The only thing you have legislation is over the White House. The White House is not a residential area, I don't think. What the president says is not a residential, I don't think so. Let me know, guys. But what you need legislation for? The reason why they had legislation was because there are people flying close to the airport and was recording in the radar, and people thought that they were low-lying things. I mean, you have to use your brain when it comes down to these kind of situations there. And it's international standards. Most planes, most airports, small airports, do not have these regulations at all. I know this because we actually did a shot in Indiana in one of the small airports. And the guys then were using the drones there. I know this. They were doing a documentary. I was one of the people involved in this. And they were doing a documentary on the life around. There's literally the plane. There not much people use that area for flying and stuff, but it's still active. But there's no regulations there. It's international spectrum or international airports that they use these things to prevent people from thinking. And you can still pay to fly inside these things. I mean, when you don't know. And these are the people that are educating people. It's interesting. That's why we don't go nowhere. Ask any child what they see in themselves. Minister of Education. Ask any child in this day and age what they see themselves doing in the future. Ask any one of them. What do you see yourself doing in the future? Where do you see yourself career-wise? Working NEP? No fault to the police. Police, big up yourself, whatnot. Police, go and work in police. You leave school for you to go and work police. Some people go and teach. Yes, teaching is a noble job too. But for you to be your entire career just going and teach, everybody cannot teach you. Everybody can be police. But that is the career path that you want to do. Where can you build yourself in something that you can say, I can do this. I can be an engineer. I can do this. I can do that. How much money is circulating for you to be in that way? That's why people leave. The nurses, my friends that I knew growing up in Dominica, not one of them. There was about 5 or 6 of them who were nurses in Dominica, you know. I myself checking, I well taken care of, no problem, nothing, boom bang. If I sick, I just go there, whoop, friend, link me up, man. Not one of them stayed in Dominica. Why do you think that is? Because things are going so well. Our education system is failing us, sister. You are the Minister of Education, not realizing, hey, let me look at what Mia Motley is doing. Some people are academically inclined, and some people are good with their hands. Some people are street smart in that. Hey, let's mold this education, because there are different types of education that you can actually help people. But if you're focusing on one way of trying to educate people, some people will be left on the wayside, and nothing happens. People are frustrated, especially when the economy is not doing well. The economy is going down. Ask any little youth out there, and ask them out there, you know. As the youths and as the parents, where do they see their children going in the future? Up to now, nobody can answer me. Nobody. What I mainly hear them people say is they want to leave. They want to see if they can get their money to leave Dominica to go somewhere else. Even some of the people who are here raised up in Dominica saying, oh, labor cut off. By the way, guys, I'm not in labor or UWP bites. I'm a classic liberal. We see the plight of the people. If you come Portsmouth right now, you will see what is going on in Portsmouth. And understanding how the economy works, you will therefore realize that it's not up we going, it's down. And we keep going down, and things keep getting smaller and smaller. Even bakes, they have to make smaller now. Bakes! Because they say they cannot handle making bigger bakes. Bakes have to shrink. Because of how the economy is going. Let me skipping that thing. I remember listening to the ending of that.
And it will treat us viciously.
Nonsense she talking. Absolute irrevocable foolishness.
Going. I strongly condemn the action of those who were flying the drone over the Prime Minister's residence.
I don't even say nothing about that, because you don't have no clue. It's just yes, alone you nonsense you.
And I more strongly condemn those who are supporting this action, because it was not only wrong, it was dangerous, it was threatening, and it was mischievous.
So bribery and treating not mischievous? Giving people things for them to get vote not mischievous? You going out there giving people money and this kind of things, they're not mischievous? Huh? That is not wrong? That is not doing wrong? Then again, using God's word to then come and pretend as if you know God's word and doing right by God's word? Lady, stop your wicked self. And again, you talk about education. Now the people realize. Anyways, let me leave that.
Today, it is the Prime Minister.
Of course.
Question is, who next and to what extent?
Lady, first of all, nobody cares about the Prime Minister and where the Prime Minister decides to rent. I don't care about where the Prime Minister, that's his business if you want to do. And the people that he's doing it to is the Dominican people he affecting. They are allowing that to happen, that's their business. Okay? Where Prime Minister, anyways, lady, you want to talk your talk? Talk your talk. But the whole gist here is what you're saying is absolutely irrevocable nonsense, and you need to get educated and be relevant to what is taking place in Dominica. Guys, what are your thoughts on this whole thing? I was going to talk some more, but I realized I'm too long on this already. Too long! Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, give this video a thumbs up. If you want to see more, definitely subscribe and turn on that post notifications so you can pretty much get all the videos as they come through. I'll see you guys in the next reaction video right there.